Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is a paid request for Te69 Spartan. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your kindness, your patience, your generosity. I really appreciate it. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, tier lists, rankings, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. And this is for a versus three-way. Aquaman, Black Panther, and Bumblebee. Now, I'm not sure what the connection is to all three of these. But it doesn't have to be. I mean, like I said, if anyone wants to send in a request for verses, it could be any verses. It could be fucking Milo and Otis versus Cobra. Not a snake, because Milo and Otis probably would have had that. Well, it did have a snake in there. But I talk about the movie Cobra. I mean, or the Hard-Hearted versus Tremors. I mean, it could be anything. But I will say, of these three films right off the bat, the one I actually liked is Bumblebee. Which I did not think I would like, because I'm like, okay, this just feels like they're just remaking the first film in terms of boy finds car, here's girl finds car. The car happens to be Bumblebee. And then at one point Bumblebee is caught by the military, which happened in the first Transformers, the 2007 film. It happened in this one. I'm like, okay, so isn't this just kind of similar to that? It is. But Bumblebee, I thought the director, number one, well, I don't like John Cena. The girl, the lead, I thought did a pretty decent job. The usage of the 80s music made sense because it took place at that time period. So you had like Bon Jovi and even have the touch in there for a little bit. Stan Bush, you got the touch. So it fit the film. It was a good looking film. The effects I thought were pretty on point. The designs of the Transformers, there's a little bit they go back to Cybertron. You see Optimus Prime in them. They're using the old school designs of the Transformers, which looks so much fucking better. Which makes it weird because it's in connection with the Michael Bay ones, but then they're, I guess when they went to Earth, they picked other vehicles, to be fair. But the timeline where, okay, Bumblebee, if you try to track that timeline where they keep making shit up for each Transformers film, where like Bumblebee, didn't they like help them in World War II to defeat the Nazis? And then there's like the King Arthur. I love someone to do like a timeline where they make all this stuff up between Bumblebee and track all the Transformers from A to Z, how the timeline works. Good luck with that. I have a feeling there's going to be some discrepancies. Maybe that's just me. But as just a solo, singular film, pacing was nice because it was under 2 hours. Lo and behold, these films don't have to be over 2 hours or 2.5 hours. It told a story under 2 hours. Bumblebee, even at that point, I was getting tired of the whole, he got taught through the radio. I'd rather just give him a voice, and a good voice. In that one, he didn't really talk until because he couldn't talk. That was the bit of the character, and then would talk through this music and stuff. I was kind of hoping this would be him talking, and then eventually, like maybe halfway through or 2/3 of the way through, that he would lose his voice, that he would start this whole thing with using the music. But yeah, I remember it being paced well enough. It didn't have a lot of the stupid humor in the Michael Bay films where like Bumblebee pisses on John Turturro's head. Hey, what you doing? Or dogs fucking, or pot brownies, or these weird side characters are just there to try to be funny. Like, what was the guy in the third, Darker the Moon? I forget. He was the guy in The Hangover. I forgot his damn name for good reason. The Asian guy. Like, Bumblebee seemed like just a more competent, straightforward movie. That, again, didn't have, like, stupid, weird humor put in that doesn't seem like it fit a Transformers film. And wasn't overstuffed. The action scenes didn't feel like went on forever. Like, what was the... especially start with the fourth one. The action scenes seemed like they just kept going on and on and on and never ended. Because I think the fourth one wasn't the bit in China that felt like the action scene went on for 5 years. And the plot, they kept it more simple. They kept it a bit more straightforward. Again, a bit similar to the 2007 film. And younger person finds car, bonds with the car, car's taken by the government, rescue, get the car out of there. I wish Bumblebee could have been more active in fighting the Decepticons at the end instead of needing the humans' help. Like, to really show what Bumblebee's capable of. Like, have him, okay, he gets his ass kicked, and then, because of his care for this human, maybe he remembers Optimus Prime saying, I know you're meant to be, you may not think you're special, but I know you're meant for bigger, better things. Like, some kind of inspirational speech he remembers Optimus Prime giving him. Gear up. And then, hell, put in, like, the touch. You got the touch. And then find the two Decepticons. Just throughout it be like, oh, there's no way you could win, Bumblebee. There's no way you alone to defeat the two of us. Because we see how brutal they are. They're on another planet, and they just execute one of the Autobots. Give a little bit more gravitas to the villains that they're willing to kill. I also like the idea that they're pretending to be the good guys, working with the human government, the military, and, oh, he's the bad guy. Like, that made sense logically for them to do that. No, let's pretend. Let's lie to them. Let's fake them out. Let's try to help us do our job. I like that aspect. But yeah, I just wish with Bumblebee they just would have made it even more badass than they did. But the action scenes were handled competently enough. The special effects looked pretty good. Went at a pace that wasn't too overlong, and yeah, it was surprisingly entertaining, better than I thought it would be. When it was announced, I'm like, because I was just so burned out on Transformer films, because I didn't think that a lot of them were that good, but it was a nice surprise. And I put that above the other two, because Aquaman and Black Panther I don't like. I don't like them. I will put Aquaman above Black Panther because Aquaman is the longer of the three. It's like almost 2.5 hours long. It does have Amber Heard, which is a, crap. Total crap. Because I just don't want to see her. Because now anytime I see her, I just imagine her pooping people's beds. And then she seems so crazy during that trial, so fucking insane in the membrane. Jason Momoa, trying to be the Roman Reigns of the sea. I'm just not into that. I mean, I don't really care about the Aquaman character. Maybe I could be, because there's Flashpoint Paradox animated film where Aquaman was kind of a villain character, which I thought, okay, that was kind of interesting the way they did that. Was it Carrie Ellis voiced him in that? I think. I could be wrong. I'm like, okay, that was interesting. Here, I just didn't care about the character. I do think James Wan does have some directorial skills. I do like him as a director. I love *Malignant*. It's here somewhere. Okay, it's right there. I don't know what... I don't want to pull out because I don't want the thing to fall, but so I just want to make sure, yeah, I have it right there. That was a nice surprise. I like the creatures that's in the trench, which that felt a little bit like a horror movie. And there's a shot where Jason Momoa and Amber Heard are in the water, and there's that wide shot where you see this light that's with them, and all the creatures converging. It's a nice wide shot. Oh, you just see just the abundance of creatures going towards them. I'm like, okay, that was a cool shot. Cool to see Dolph Lundgren in there. But it just felt overlong. I just didn't really get into the character like other people did. I was quite frankly bored throughout a lot of it. And what's funny is I reviewed it. I reviewed it a few months ago, and I don't even remember much about it. I liked Black Mantis, like the look of him. I liked the costume they gave him. Even the opening action scene, I'm like, I'm not minding where he's fighting these bad guys and like the submarine, the ship, and the way he's using his strength to take these guys out. Not minding the way it was choreographed. Black Mantis, I thought they could have done a lot more with. The action scenes in the water just didn't captivate me like I'm sure it did others. Just it was a big hit. I know there's a lot of people who like Aquaman. And I just, the story, I just don't really give a shit about Aquaman, the way the character's portrayed in that movie. Maybe in the comics, it's a different matter. The way it's portrayed in the movie just wasn't for me. If you want to know my thoughts, look up my Aquaman review. It's much more clearer thoughts because it was fresh in my mind. But I don't remember it much. And then Black Panther is the bottom. It makes me racist. I do have a bone to pick with that because I do remember when I reviewed that film. I don't even know if the review is still up. I got crap because I didn't like the film, so I was called racist. Oh, it's a white guy with this facade. He doesn't like Black Panther. Well, then you must be racist. I'm like, no. It's because I don't like the film. I don't think it's a film that deserved a Best Picture nominee at the Oscars. Blade and Blade 2, I think, are much better, more entertaining films than Black Panther. I sincerely will argue anyone over that. I mean, who gives a shit about arguing? Because it's my opinion, your opinion, we all have opinions. But in my opinion, Blade 1 and 2 are more fun, more fast-paced, more entertaining, more exhilarating, more badass than Black Panther. Blade 1 and 2 for the win. I don't give a shit about Black Panther, the movie, or the sequel. Again, I don't see how that's a Best Picture nominee worthy movie. Considering all the films throughout the years that never got nominated. The story was just another take on The Lion King, among other films. There's definitely other times remind me of The Lion King. Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace to him. He was more interesting, and his acting is not the problem. It's not. It's not the problem in that film. The way the characters utilized felt more palatable, more important, more badass in fucking Captain America's Civil War. Why does Black Panther come off as more of a badass in Civil War than he does in his own damn movie? The first action scene where he's shot in a way that I can't see what's going on. Then you have the car scene, which was given away in all the trailers. Because that was like one of the only Black Panther scenes they could showcase in the advertising. This is one of the few action scenes he has in the goddamn movie is his car scene. Which he gets on top and he takes a wheel off and this and that. Multiple action scenes he had in Civil War were way better. Choreograph wise, just badass wise. Wakanda as an environment, it's one of those things where, okay, I get they want to be part of their ritual, their livelihood, their ancestry. They want to respect their ancestry. That's why they do certain things the way they do. But it's definitely a contrast between having this super duper shield. I keep thinking of the sequel. They have this technologically advanced equipment and weapons, but then to open up the shield, it's a drum set. Instead of just a... If people are chasing you and you need to turn the shield on and off quickly, which is better? This? Or... That's what I mean. It's like, okay, which is better? You got these weapons. Is it better to have these advanced weapons in case someone goes after you? Or a goddamn rhino cavalry? Because using goddamn rhinos to fight people. You can have all these technological stuff for weapons and stuff. Wakanda, most advanced place. Are other people in the region, do they have their food? Do they have their clothing? Are they doing well? Because you obviously have the wealth, the grandeur, the technological advancements to be able to feed everybody outside your realms fine and dandy, it would seem, right? Or is that the case? So the whole thing with Wakanda, like what it does and doesn't do, sometimes seems either counterintuitive or doesn't quite gel with me. You're so advanced, but then you're using rhinos to fucking try to fight people, which is encumbersome and not the best way to do it if you want to save lives and save your people. And here's this big technological stuff that, could really shift the balance of power. But how do we be a team? Well, we'd go back to basics and fight with a spear. Okay, why don't you vote like a democracy? Because it's back to our ancestry. Well, guess what? Back in the days, there was the Colosseum. Should we have the Colosseum open up again where people can fight to the death? I mean, maybe we should nowadays. With some people. Especially politicians. Okay, if you tell me, yeah, put the politicians and see who wins. Okay, maybe we do that. Maybe they're on to something. But it just... You know what I mean? Like, and the CGI, especially at the end, is the worst of the three. Watch that end fight between Black Panther and Killmonger when they're in their Black Panther suits and they're going back and forth, and it looks like a cutscene from a PlayStation 3 video game. When you watch that scene, keep in your mind this is an Oscar, Best Picture Oscar nominated movie. I should look it up. I will laugh if this was nominated for Best Visual Effects. I gotta look it up. I gotta look it up. So, bear with me. It was not. Best Picture, Best Costume Design, Best Production Design, Best Original Score, Best Original Song, Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing. It won Best Costume Design and Best Production Design and Best Original Score. I don't even remember the score. But there you go. But I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. When I looked at that film, nothing about that screams Best Picture nominee. When I look through the years and decades of films, Heat, Michael Mann's Heat, not nominated for Best Picture. Let me look up. Films not nominated for Best Picture, but should have been. Just seeing if there's a list here. I'm just curious about this. Because I'm just curious, like, throughout the years, what are films not nominated for Best Picture? Sorry for the dead air. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? You know what? I mean, I could see that more Best Picture than Black Panther. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Full Metal Jacket. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Serpico. Alien. Three Teens. Three Teens is a good movie. Misery. The Shining. 2001: Space Odyssey. Rear Window. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Jurassic Park. Heat. I mean, I think the 1990 Jacob's Ladder film is a fantastic movie. That didn't get any nominations. Was The Truman Show? I don't think The Truman Show was nominated. Right? Like, that was a really good film. I don't think that was nominated. Like, how the fuck is 2001: A Space Odyssey not nominated? How is the Truman Show not nominated? Uncut Gems, that was a bit of a surprise too. That wasn't nominated. Again, Blade 1 and 2 I'll put above it. I know you could come up with the reasons to why it got nominated, and it wasn't because of the film itself. It's because of other factors. I'm sorry, those other factors should not be a factor. Misery. That's a damn good movie. I bet you can name 10 movies off the top of your head that were never nominated for Best Picture. You go, yeah, that should have been nominated. And that's not against Chadwick Boseman. I think he deserved a better movie. His character was better utilized in Civil War. I liked him in that movie. It's sad that he passed away. Way too young. Way too young. But that film, I never had one single ever inkling to rewatch it again. The only way I ever watch it if it was a paid request for a review or a commentary. But yeah, not a fan, not for me. If it's for you, good on you. Again, just not for me. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Black Panther, I know people still... Well, you know what? It's died down a bit. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of fans of Black Panther, but I don't think me saying it's overrated would get as much of a pushback as it did back then. And what's sad, anytime I think of Black Panther now, I think of this guy, I forget his name, but maybe that's for the best, who seemed like a nice guy, left this really nice comment that he was a veteran, he was black, and he was... And then sadly, like later on, he just kind of lost his mind, where out of the blue he would start being mad and angry at me because like he sent me a bunch of DVDRs and I thanked him for it, But he's like, well, how come you didn't review them all? I'm like, you sent like these are like copy DVD. I'm like, there's a ton here, and I don't have the time. And I don't just some of the behavior he would do is just. I think he even mentioned he was having issues. I'm like, that's not my fault. I don't know. I don't want to say his name. If he's watching, if somehow you're watching this dude, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing better. Bygones be bygones. I hope everything worked out for you, man. I didn't really say anything out into the public because I'm like, he's going through some stuff, and I hope if somehow he sees this, I hope you're doing better, guy. I hope you're doing better. But yeah. So now, anytime I think of Black Panther, I think of that guy and the sadness of that. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks for again, Test69 Spartan. I'll get to your other requests as soon as I can. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye for now.